So, the whole US-Iran thing recently. Man, the internet just blew up, right? Hot takes everywhere, everyone's got an opinion. But what does it actually mean for India? Let's cut through all that noise and figure it out.
You saw this one for sure. The second Khamenei was gone. The timeline was flooded with Iran is finished. It's over. The whole country is just going to collapse. You know, the kind of big declaration you can only make in 280 characters.
And
Like the video, subscribe to The Explainer, and stay informed about the world that shapes our future.
Get the gist. Watch like it's some kind of movie, grab the popcorn, sit back, because it's got nothing to do with us, right?
Well, both of those takes are, let's be honest, way too simple. The real story is so much more complicated and has some huge direct impacts on India and, yeah, the entire world. So what is the real story here? Let's get into it.
All right, let's push past those clickbait headlines. First up, we're going to tackle some of the biggest myths that have been flying around.
Okay, myth number 1. This is the big one you've probably heard a dozen times. Iran is totally finished. It's about to fall apart. But is it really?
You know, the common view is that Iran is like a Jenga tower. You pull out that one top block and the whole thing just comes crashing down. But that's not the right picture. The reality is, it's more like a pyramid. Iran isn't Venezuela. They have spent years, literally years, getting ready for a moment just like this.
So how do they do it? Well, they have this system in place. It's called the 4 levels of succession. Basically, for every single important job, there are 4 people trained and ready to take over. You can bet a successor has already been picked. They're just not going to be foolish enough to announce it and, paint a giant target on that person's back.
And there's another thing. Remember Venezuela? The public was pretty much all on the same page against the government. Iran? Totally different story. Opinion is split all over the world. I mean, we've seen protests for the regime in Times Square, New York. We've seen mourning processions in Kashmir. We've seen attacks on the U.S. consulate in Pakistan. This is not a simple black and white situation at all.
Okay, that brings us neatly to myth number 2, the idea that Iran's recent attacks on its neighbors were just a huge, massive mistake.
Yeah, on the surface, it kind of looks that way, right? Like Iran just made everyone in the neighborhood mad and united them against itself. But what if that wasn't a blunder? What if it was actually a trap and they sprung it on purpose?
Just think about the domino effect for a second. Iran hits a major hub like Dubai. What happens next? All the big international airlines have to shut down their airspace. All of a sudden, you've got a global hostage situation on your hands. Citizens from literally every corner of the globe are stranded. See, Iran didn't need to win a battle. They just had to show the world they could hold the entire global economy hostage anytime they want.
And a move like that? Wow. The ripple effects are immediate and they are massive. We're talking consequences that go way, way beyond the Middle East.
Let's talk oil first. Iran basically has control over the Strait of Hormuz. It's this tiny, tiny choke point, only about 33 kilometers wide. But get this, a full 20% of the entire world's oil supply goes through that little strait every single day. If Iran decides to shut that down, the whole global economy feels that pain instantly.
But this isn't just about dollars and cents, it's about people. There are 8 million Indians living and working in the Gulf. Just let that number sink in for a minute. 8 million. If this thing escalates, we're talking about a logistical nightmare. We'd have to evacuate a population bigger than a lot of countries in Europe. It's just staggering.
And for everyone back here in India, the first place you're going to feel it is at the petrol pump. Right now, oil is hovering around $72 a barrel. But if this conflict gets bigger, experts are saying that price could easily shoot way past $100. And you know what that means for all of us.
Now, there's another huge player in this whole game we have to talk about, China. See, the main reason Iran has been able to survive all those U.S. sanctions is because China buys 80% of its oil. And here's the kicker. They pay for it in yuan, not U.S. dollars. It creates this sanction-proof system that helps both of them. So this conflict, it's not just about Iran. It's also a very clever strategic play to try and isolate China by choking off one of its biggest energy lifelines.
Okay, so let's shift gears and bring this right back home. How did all of this actually affect the Indian citizens who were stuck right in the middle of it?
The timeline of events here is, well, it's pretty revealing. The Indian embassy sent out clear warnings. They told people to leave Iran way back on January 14th. Then they sent another, more urgent one on February 23rd. But a lot of students, they decided to stay.
And it was only after the attack started that we began seeing those desperate videos pleading for help, for an evacuation.
Look, the fear in those messages is absolutely real, and you can totally understand it. But the source material we're looking at here brings up a really tough question. When the government gives you multiple official warnings, why did it take actual explosions for the danger to finally feel real to some people?
And something else the source points out is this pretty worrying trend we saw online. You had people in India kind of mocking the UAE, calling it unsafe, while at the same time patting ourselves on the back for how safe India is. This kind of, superiority complex, it's not just insensitive to a really important ally like the UAE, it also just hurts India's own reputation for no good reason.
When you step back and look at the whole picture, this entire situation really needs to be a major wake-up call for India. A wake-up call for our national security and for how ready we are for what's coming next.
Because what we're witnessing here, right now, is the reality of New Age warfare. This isn't your granddad's war with huge armies clashing on a battlefield. No. This is about swarms of drones, hyper-advanced missiles, and cyber attacks that can cripple the country. Think about it. Even if your defenses are amazing and you shoot down 99% of the drones coming at you, that 1% that gets through can still cause devastating damage.
And that presents us with a massive challenge. You know, decades ago, we had leaders with incredible foresight. They secured India's future by developing our own nuclear program. They were playing the long game. Well, today, we need that exact same kind of forward thinking. But this time, it's to build our own homegrown defenses against the threats of this era, drones and cyber warfare.
We simply can't just keep being the world's biggest buyer of weapons forever. That's not real strength. True security, real sovereignty, that comes from being self-reliant. So the question this whole thing forces us to ask is a big one. In this new age of war, is India really doing what it takes today to make sure we're secure tomorrow?
Like the video, subscribe to The Explainer, and stay informed about the world that shapes our future.